Hello everybody, this is GamePro24X and we're back here again for another weekly update in Metal Gear Survive. So there's really not too much to cover and I want to just hurry up and just get to the event. They essentially fixed one bug and they also increased the limit use of the crew manuals for your crew. So now they can go up to 60 uses. So the only people that really benefit from this the most is your unique staff because, well, you can never replace them. So at least you can give them more manuals and hopefully they'll reach best. I do not know if currently they'll reach best with this new increase, but we'll have to see. So on with the event. This is basically a single player only event and this is all revolving around the base digs. So you would essentially do your base dig, you would complete it, and you get BP for it. And with the BP, you go into the exchange store and you'll be able to pick whatever you want if you want to buy certain things. So there are 3 limited items that you should definitely go after because who knows when we'll actually get these again. And that is the floodlight, palm tree, and the copper statue. After that, you can then pick whatever you want in terms of your reward. But I would say definitely after you get your 3 limited items, go immediately get the epic weapon case because that actually has an epic weapon in the case. So that's your chance for a freebie, so to speak, but you gotta have enough points for it. So let's do some quick math, that way we know what kind of gold points are we actually aiming for. So if you want to get the 3 base items, that's going to cost you around 6,000 PP. If you want to get one of everything, or like buy literally everything, including all the limited items and shit, that's going to cost you around 27,000. But in all honesty though, like, you don't even want to do that. Like, you probably shouldn't even be doing that because why would you want to buy a green case or a white case? You know what I'm saying? So don't even focus on trying to aim for everything. Get only the good stuff. And of course, finally, if you just buy the base items, the epic weapon case, and the SV coins, because, you know, that is kind of important, it's going to run you about 12,500. So that's essentially my goal right now, is to earn that much for the event. Now I gotta give Gamester credit here because essentially once the event came out, he started getting to work and he got a lot of info from a lot of people. So he was able to figure out what kind of BP numbers we're looking at if you're not spending SV coins. So JJ and to everyone else who contributed, I greatly thank you guys for your contributions. So let's take a look at what we learned from here. And I'll definitely leave a link to this Reddit post below so you guys can actually go through it and read it yourself. So what we learned from JJ's post is that when you do base dig 2, and as you already saw from my video earlier, you get 1,210. We don't know how much you get for base dig 3, but on base dig 4 you get 2,980. Base dig 5 is 5,040. And on base dig 6 you get 5,400. So already the difference between 4 and 5 is already really great. So you want to kind of aim for that a little bit. But here's the interesting thing that I just kind of like noticed. So if you're planning on just doing base dig 2, if you've been doing this since the beginning of the event, you can actually earn enough battle points to get all of those items that I mentioned earlier, the goal post that I'm going for, in about 11 days. And that's all you're really going to need because, you know, you can't really do anything more with the event because if you want to get more battle points, you're going to need to start spending SV coins, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't want to be doing that. So if you want to just go for the bare minimum, get all the good stuff, and then be done, do base dig 2. Now, an interesting thing is that you can actually just squeeze in one base dig 5 or maybe a base dig 4, and that'll cut the time down a lot more as well. So currently we're on day, I believe, like 2 or 3 of the event. So for those of you who haven't done any of this yet, I would say definitely shoot for a base dig 4 or 5, then start doing base dig 2, and just keep track of like how much points you're earning. And if you notice that you might not make it with just another 2, then definitely do another like 4 or something like that. But make sure you have enough time in between, and make sure you are checking on your base every single day to ensure that you're maximizing the amount of time possible doing. Now, here are some things that I've just found out for myself. Well, obviously the booster will affect how much BP you earn, so if you only have one save and you're using the booster, well, you'll earn like 3 times the amount of BP from one like base stick. Another thing that is not mentioned, but that I need to mention, is that if you have extra save slots, like if you have unlocked them, all the base sticks from there also carry over. So I have 3 save slots currently. So if I do 3 base stick 2s, right? Essentially, I'll earn the same amount of BP as somebody who has 1 save slot and was using the booster. But he gets to do 1 where I need to do 3. So in my case, I can at least use base dig 2 throughout the whole entire event and earn a shit ton of BP. Now, you know, obviously I'm experimenting a little bit. I'm leaving one base doing base dig 5 while the other ones do 2. But essentially, if you have already invested that much into the game and you bought your extra save slots with your free coins and whatnot, then that's a good strat for you guys to actually do. But if you do not have a extra save, you can still achieve all those items that you really want with just using base dig 2 and maybe squeezing in a 4 or a 5 in there. So that's basically what I have found out. So I was only able to get the copper statue for now, but if you don't know what that is, it's actually the statue of the boss. And in Metal Gear Solid 5, believe it or not, this was in the game. It's just that because you run by it so fast, you actually don't see it. You essentially see this statue in the very beginning in the hospital scene when you're like escaping. This is at the very front of the hospital. And I wish I can kind of find a video of it, but I'm pretty sure you guys can easily find it yourself. But yeah, that's the boss's statue right there. So I thought that's pretty cool that they added that into the game, but it doesn't really serve anything else other than it being just scenery purposes. So to conclude everything, if you're only using 1 save and you've been doing this since the beginning of the event, doing base dig 2 will earn you all the base rewards along with the epic weapon case and all 3 purchases of SV coins, which is like 60 SV coins at once. And you'll be able to achieve that within 11 days. And this event only lasts for 2 weeks, which is 14 days. But if you do any higher level base digs, you'll actually earn a little bit more BP in the same amount of time. So that is also another option for you if you don't feel that confident that just doing 2 will be enough. So I would say, for those of you who are watching this today, do 1 base dig 5 if you can manage it. Because currently, now that we have more space in our base, we can actually auto-defend base dig 5, and it's actually no big deal. But yeah, if you can do 1 base dig 5 and do the rest of them as base dig 2s, then you'll actually make it in this event. What are my thoughts about the event? Well, I'm going to say a lot of things that a lot of people are not going to really agree with, but I have my reasons for them. So currently right now, the main consensus is that this event is very pay to win. Honestly, I don't think so. I've already demonstrated that if you're only going for the base items, the epic weapon case, and the SV coins, which all 3 of those items are by far the most important, everything else is kind of irrelevant. You can definitely earn that by yourself by mostly doing base dig 2s and maybe squeezing in something a little bit higher in between them all. You can definitely achieve that. The rest of it is just extra stuff that you can get on the side. I know it's there as an option for you to grab and receive, but it's like you don't really need them. Like, you can get extra field manuals, you can get extra weapon cases, gear cases, whatever, but it's not needed. Like, you don't really need to go get it. And I wish I had a better way of explaining it, but if you can get the bare minimum without paying to win, then it's not pay to win. That's basically how I kind of see it. Also, another thing that's just wrong in general about the event is just, well, the whole base dig thing. Like, it just kind of sucks that you have to just... That's the only way you earn rewards is by doing base digs, which some people can actually come in time and actually, you know, reactivate their base digs on time every day, but some people, they can't. And like, as much as I really like the idea that you can manually, participate or not participate in each wave, like it has to ask you every single time, which is fine. I don't disagree with that. In some respects, I wish we had an option for it to automatically continue, because I mainly do auto defense all the time, and the only thing I'm really checking for in between days is how my stuff is doing durability wise, and that's it. So if I had it, like if it was doing it automatically without me having to be there to actually, say, hey, let's let my team do it or whatever, then I'll just come in whenever I want between days and just check on the things I have, because most of the stuff I have won't break until like maybe 3 or 4 waves in. So I can just sit back and just let it do all the work. But like I said, I don't disagree with the whole you can choose, like it has to ask you every single wave. I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying I kind of wish I had an option to where I can make it just go full automatic, where it's like I want my bait, or I want my team to do all waves, and you don't have to stop me at every single wave to ask me. Because at least this way, for those people who aren't there on time, they'll at least be able to come in later that day, check on their stuff, and then just leave it. But I think in general, the community doesn't like the event. It's kind of boring, I'm not going to lie. But I think people are misconstruing it, and they're trying to slap another pay-to-win label on it like the previous event. And I don't see it that way. I just don't. And if anyone wants to challenge me on that, you're free to do so. I get that there are some items like the field manuals that have an unlimited purchase rate. I think they cost only 1,000 BP, and you can purchase them like infinitely. But again, because of how the event is structured, you're not going to be able to earn a lot of points really quickly unless you start spending SV coins. But like I said, even if you didn't purchase those field manuals, you'll still just earn field manuals from doing the base dig itself. So, I mean, aside from that, you can get like purple weapons or blue or purple like armor. But then again, it's like if you've been playing a lot of co-op, you could still earn that much anyways. And even if you did buy any of those cases, I don't even know what comes out of them. Like, they could be the very shitty version of those weapons or the very good version of those weapons. So I don't know. And I think a lot of this pay-to-win idea and all these like things are coming from this same post, because when I go back and read it, I noticed he kind of got a lot of his math wrong. He's basically, like, for example, the whole base dig 2 thing, his consensus is that unless you spend SV coins to manually speed it up yourself, you're not going to be able to earn everything in the 14 days, which I already just proved you could. And I think the problem here is that he's confusing the idea that base dig 2 can only be done within 2 days, when in reality it's only done in 1 day. Only 22 hours. Because you would go do base dig 2, leave it for your base or leave it for your crew to do it, and it's already done. After that, then you have to wait 22 hours. So you come back in 22 hours and you let your crew do it again. You essentially did base dig 2 in 1 day. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like, just reading through this a little bit more, I can see that he got a lot of math wrong and a lot of the times wrong when it comes to this. And a lot of his main points here is like, oh yeah, you need to spend SV coins if you want this to be done in a certain amount of time, but you don't. Like, you really don't. I really don't know. I could be completely wrong. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe I'm not. But I implore most of you to actually go back and read this post. Try doing some of the math yourself and see if any of it adds up. But from what I have already explained to you earlier, this can all be done with one save file by doing base dig 2 from the beginning of the event all the way to the end of the event. You can at least get all the base items, the SV coins, and the epic weapon case. You don't really need anything else. So JJ Gamester is actually listening to this isn't like an attack or anything like that. I'm just kind of calling into question like your ideas or your conclusions on these things, because they're not really adding up, at least to me. But I could be looking at it wrong. So if you're definitely here and you're looking at it, definitely, let me know what you think. But I don't think this event is pay to win, and I think people got the wrong idea when they read this post, because this was the first post that was ever made about the event when it started, and that's when this whole pay to win idea started coming around, when again, I don't see how it is pay to win. So I don't know, but hope this kind of sheds some light on what to do and like how things are. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll definitely pay attention and see what you guys have to say. Anyways, this is GamePro24X. Good luck on the event, and I'll see you guys later.
Mission complete, and how? They're gonna tell stories about this one, boss.